Hey, this is Orange County Executive Steve Neuhaus. I'm here with my friend Rich Fracasse over here in Newburgh at the Silk Factory. This is probably the coolest place in the county. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about a little bit about his background, why he's here, how he got here, why he's continuing to invest in Newburgh and other businesses and hiring people. This business is actually opening for right now as we do this recording. So we're going to be talking all about that. So Rich, dude, you're the coolest guy I know, man. Let's talk about, I got your whole bio, but the people that are going to be watching this don't know you. Obviously, by the way you dress and this cool place that we're at, everything matches. You're a Newburgh guy. Your parents are from here. Your grandparents are immigrants, or some of your great-grandparents. Tell us about Newburgh and how you got here.
Okay. So my great-grandparents came here from Italy, and actually both of my grandfathers came here from Italy. And so great-grandparents, grandparents, parents, myself, and my three daughters. So 5 generations here in Newburgh. So Newburgh's my hood.
Went to NFA.
Went to NFA. Went to South Junior High. I went to New Windsor School actually, to grade school. But so been here all my life. Been here when it wasn't too bad, and it got kind of rough in the 70s. And
so you know all that history that we've all heard about.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah. It would be nice. My dream would be to see it like it used to be
when you were a kid. When you were your youngest.
Yeah. But when I was in high school, it was still pretty rough. It was a rough place to be.
And the country is going through a tough time right now. Crime and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. We had some incidents around here. We've had incidents all over the county. There's some good stuff I do see, and we have a couple of big companies that have come in. There's small companies too, like you're hiring, like the young lady that gave me the coffee cup.
Yep.
Getting people opportunity and giving them some confidence in doing things is critical, especially when we're trying to combat some of these bad trends.
Yep.
And I've seen some of the big companies like Legoland is busing kids from here to
Right.
employ them. You hiring, whether it's 1 person or 10 person, and other businesses in Orange County and in Newburgh. What do you see? Do you have a lot of faith in the future, or are you nervous?
I have a lot of faith in the future, and I think there's a lot of amazing, good people. And the way we attract, and I have multiple businesses, the way we attract people is we pay them a little bit more, and we're able to attract
Quality.
better, right?
So this is literally like the coolest place I've been to in Orange County. And I go to a lot of spots, and I like going out and checking out things. I love music, and I've been here for an event before. I'm looking at the board behind you, like, you got your band up right there, the Funk Junkies.
Right.
But you have all sorts of great events coming up here, and the backdrop is awesome, the setting's awesome. You're now moving into dinner in the future. Yep. You obviously are investing hard-earned money because you believe in this place. So give these viewers, whether they're from Newburgh or from the greater Orange County area, why should they come here, and why are you putting your money here?
Okay.
You could be buying a place down in Marco Island like everybody else we know,
right,
or going somewhere else, planning your exodus. You're actually putting your money here.
Right. So one thing that I learned was it's about community. Mm-hmm. And Newburgh was always a place where, whether you were black, white, Spanish speaking, whatever, you'd be here. And there's so many amazing, wonderful people here in Newburgh, and I've been able to maintain some great friendships for a long time with all different kinds of people. I don't want to go anyplace else. This is my home. I mean, I'm not. We make fun. Myself and a couple of friends, like my car won't go over the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. It turns around and comes back to Newburgh. But it's been a place where, back when I was in high school in the 70s, and 80s and into the 90s, Newburgh was like in the top 5 most dangerous cities in the country in certain polls. But now it's, instead of number 4 most dangerous, it's number 50 or something, and so things are getting better. It's getting better for everybody, for the young kids here, for everybody.
Still have challenges. I know people every year. I get involved in graduations and talk to people about where they're going, young kids and they're going to Yale, they're going to Harvard, they're going to Orange County Community College, they're going into the trades. So you can still, this is the land of opportunity.
Yes.
And Newburgh is still an example of that.
Yes. The trades are, in my opinion, college isn't for everybody. I didn't go to college.
Yeah.
And
most of my friends, and a couple of them, like, another friend, I won't use his last name, but Benny,
Yep.
who lives in Newburgh, another
Yep.
successful guy, went to BOCES.
That's right.
And learned a wonderful trade.
Yep.
And is probably one of the most successful people I know.
Yep. Successful, talented, honest, good, hardworking guy. The whole family, those guys are great guys.
And you're seeing that here, like people not having to go to college, but learning
Yeah.
a trade
Yeah.
and opening a business
Yep.
or working.
I think working with your hands, using your brain and your mind and your hands, you can make more money than if you got a college degree now. And you don't have 50 or 100 grand to pay back either.
One of the big trends, the district attorney, I'm very involved in law enforcement. We just did a major active shooter training this week, and then we have a number of them scheduled next week as well throughout the county and the school districts, and the businesses are concerned about violence and security. But one of the biggest things, the trends we see is that 3/4 of the men that are committing these crimes don't have a real father figure at home.
Correct. Yep.
So whether you are that person's dad or you're not, you're the
Right.
girlfriend's boyfriend, or you're just a good citizen, it is critical to have good male role models
100%.
in people's lives. These single moms are carrying a lot of the weight,
Yep.
but they need help.
Yep.
Are you seeing that you need to, that is a factor here? That
100%.
they're missing a dad at home?
100%. We could be sitting here right now, and we may see some kids walk by here, and if they see me here, they're going to come in.
That's great.
And they're going to and I throw them a few dollars all the time, and for that $10 or $20, they're going to have to listen to me.
Yeah.
Right? So, and one of the things that these kids, when I say kids, they're 10, 12, 14 years old. One thing that they don't know how to do is they don't know how to communicate. So the one kid, this is about a month ago, there's a bunch of girls walking by, young girls. One of the girls does boxing with Leonard Lee right around the corner, who Lee's a hero of Newburgh.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. And so they see me and they wave, hey Rich. So I come to the door, we let him in. I start talking, I said, and there was a little boy with him. I said, what's your name? He says, William. I said, hey William, I'm Rich. So he take my hand.
Yeah.
He takes my hand, he's looking at, I said, William, let me ask you a question. Why, when you shake my hand, are you looking at my shoes? Look me in my eyes and shake my hand. Take my hand. I said, this is the way you shake somebody's hand, right? These kids don't know how to do that. And now, when I see that kid and I'm coming down Washington Street, yo, Rich! And they all run to my car. And so we created a little bit of a bond and a connection.
Yeah.
If we can just show some of these kids, especially the young males, just some of that communication skills, I think that'll help change their lives.
One of the people, just a few blocks from where we're sitting, is the Newburgh Armory. I'm actually going to head over there for a quick thing after we get done with this interview. Bill Kaplan, who's really been the heart of that, and the late Bill Larkin, Senator Larkin. But Bill Kaplan, that's his biggest thing with me. Is to, when he shows me, he grabs the kids and goes, I teach these kids how to shake hands,
That's right.
how to talk to people,
That's right.
how to look people in the eye.
Right.
And that is a lost art. That is
100%. I tell my daughters, I have 3 beautiful daughters, you can be the best hairdresser, you could be the best at anything. You could be the most beautiful, you could be the most intelligent, but if you don't have a good personality and you don't connect with people, your career isn't going to be what it could have been.
What is some of the things, Rich, in your life? Have you failed a lot?
Yes.
Have you fall down a lot?
Yes.
What's your best lessons that you've learned? Is it from failing or is it from succeeding?
I think the one thing that has kept me moving forward, and maybe, I don't know if you want to call this success or whatever it is, but was perseverance. Don't quit.
Yeah.
When things get rough, grab your belt and jack your ass up, excuse my French, and keep pushing. You know? And
you own a big air conditioning company, right?
Yes.
Has that been, did you start that? Did you just get into it and then just take one over? Like, how do you go from local Italian bloodline, Newburgh boy, all-American kid, didn't go to college, but now you're operating a number of businesses, and this one a very successful one, including where we are now. But how do you get into the air conditioning business?
So I started when I was, my father was an air conditioning guy.
Okay.
And when I was 17 years old, I went to work for my father. And then at one point, we split up, and I went on my own. And within the first year, by myself, I had 30 people working for me. But what I did was I took a equity loan on my house, and that's how I started that business.
Big risk.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
which
that's
is an American story.
That's right.
It's
take
a lot of risk.
Yeah. You have to take a risk. You have to partner. Like when I say people working for me, they don't really work for me. We work together. They're not employees.
It's funny, I know Jimmy Smith from Advanced Testing is the same thing. He makes it more of a family, and he's got a very high, where people are staying.
We have in United Air Conditioning, we have people that have been working there for the length of the business for 25 years. There's, at 25, 20, 15, 10 years, most of the people that work there.
Yeah, we have, one of my successes is economic development.
Yeah.
I'm big on business, big helping people. I want people to get jobs. I want people to reinvest, fix up blighted properties. We have now closed in the last week with Sims Foster Company.
Right, beautiful.
That's going to buy these 3 old dilapidated buildings that we have, the county bought right before I took office. I wanted to sell them. We shouldn't be in the real estate business. Right. And they had a hard time getting approved.
Yeah.
So that is a problem. And
Yeah.
I just left a Chamber of Commerce breakfast before I came here. And if businesses are not going to be welcomed, they're going to get the hell out of here.
That's the tough
Like you
part.
saw the Amazon deal that New York State, blew,
Yeah.
and was going to be
Terrible.
Thousands of investments, and
Right.
it's tough to get people to invest money here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't bloodlet them. I get the regulations. You want to make sure that people are doing things, and you're not negatively impacting the neighborhood and the people that are here now paying the bills. But
I think there's a lot of ignorance that comes with that. Opportunity. I mean, if a lot of these kids had some real opportunity, they wouldn't be shooting at each other.
And that's what I love seeing people having jobs. Like some of these companies that are here right now, and I was just talking to somebody over the weekend about the minimum wage. Kids they can make some big money if there's a minimum wage. There's not a lot of exemptions for, just because you're 16, you got working papers. Right. So I do like that these people are working, and it's great. I love going to a place and seeing a young teenager I know that's still in high school that is working, taking pride, wiping down the counters after a customer leaves.
100%.
These little things that we all forget that you think people don't do anymore.
I came
that
in
work
here,
ethic.
100%. I came in here this morning, and one of the kids at the counter over there was training the other girl, and the one girl got really excited when the new kid made the coffee just right, and I heard her say, "Oh wow, that's great." That made me feel great.
Pride, yeah.
Right. 100%.
And how old are your daughters?
My oldest is 27, the middle is 25, and the youngest is 21.
All right, so they're in their 20s. Mine are all little. I got four, two boys, 2 girls. Right. Ranges from 8 to now soon to be a teenager next week, 13. Right. So 5 to 13, and so I'm seeing the different spectrum of it.
Right.
But I got to tell you, my 2 daughters, one's 10, now one's going to be 13. During the pandemic, they were out of school. They would do their schoolwork in the morning, and they begged to come with me to work.
Yeah.
My one daughter turns 13 next week. She's off on our birthday, or we have the same birthday next week.
Wow.
And she's like, I said, what do you want for your birthday? And we always have lunch for our birthday together. And she says, I want to come to work with you.
Nice.
I said, you're off for school. Go to the movies with your friends. Do something. And she does her stuff with her friends. But she, for some reason, loves to come to work with me and volunteer and help.
That's good.
And do things. And so when I look at a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, these kids," everybody says that. Your parents probably said, "Your music sucks. It's not music. It's not art." Right. And now we're looking at it. Well, you're doing more electric music and not doing more learning the instruments. But I am optimistic.
Yeah, me too.
There's a guy, Admiral McRaven, the guy that gave this famous college speech, "Make your own bed." Like first thing in the morning, accomplish something.
Yep.
Even if you had a bad day, you accomplished something.
Yep.
You made your own bed.
Yep.
He thinks that the best days are ahead of us. Because I get frustrated too when I see people. I'm like, dude, these kids are, sometimes I get frustrated.
I feel the same way, but then you'll see something like that
and it'll
happen.
Inspire you.
And I'm looking over here. We got Allie and who else is over there? Amanda. Come over here. I'll just introduce you real quick. Where's Amanda?
And these.
Okay, so like these guys, like Allie.
Hi, how are you? And you're live on our podcast. I'm Steve. Nice to see you. How are you?
Neuhaus. Like these guys, if it wasn't for these guys, this place wouldn't be here. This kid right here, and these girls, and Izzy, and I mean, they're amazing. These guys give me faith in the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we try our best. He's a great boss to work for.
Yeah.
I'll give you the money later.
Yeah, you're going to get a bonus for that.
Yeah.
Well, pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, kid, thanks.
So yeah, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And it's funny because people ask me, and I see people, especially when they're getting older, and I'm still in my 40s, but I see people getting older recalculating their lives and saying, what is the value? What have I done? Besides making money, what is going to be my legacy? What is going to be your legacy when people look back at you? I mean, you're not leaving here. You're not the guy that's talking about vacation homes, and you said your car doesn't go over the bridge.
You know what? I don't care about a legacy. I think I care about every day, what happens each day, and I'm not worried about
making a difference in someone's life.
Well,
they're making a difference in your life.
But I don't consciously think about I got to make a difference. And just like you, and just like I think most of us, we just do the right thing. And we don't have to. If I buy the homeless guy shoes, I don't need to videotape it and show the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these knuckleheads do. We just do the right thing, and we don't expect anything for it. It's just what we're supposed to do.
I definitely want to end on a positive note, but I want to talk about more complicated stuff real quick with you.
Sure.
You and I both have grown up and seen good and bad days, and we've seen different types of problems facing us. We have a lot of problems with mental health now, people with depression. We also see a lot of problems now with fentanyl. We didn't have these type of drugs impacting us when we were younger. We also didn't have this digital age where you and I went to high school together. You'd have to actually look at each other. You'd have to actually call each other. But now the bullying, and I see that, like, I tell people I love doing physical meetings. Like my staff's like, today we have a budget meeting. Let's do a Zoom. I'm like, no. I want people in person, because if you're more or less likely to smack talk each other, and I'm not even talking about the budget meeting, I'm just saying in person. But kids are seeing that now, this cyberbullying. You have threats with fentanyl, where this is killing people, which is the first time they're trying it. What is your outlook on that and mental health? Do you think that the outlook is going to get better, and how do we as society help these people? Like you're seeing people with addiction right now.
All the time. And if we got in a car and drove around here, every one of these people, homeless people, they're really not homeless, they're mentally ill. And most of these people choose not to live someplace. They choose to be in the street. Like this guy, Michael. I don't know if you see Michael. Michael's got a big long beard, and he's always got a shopping cart. But I know their names, they know my name. And what the biggest problem in the United States, and especially like an inner city, like Newburgh, Middletown, Poughkeepsie's having problems now too. But the problem is that these people need to be treated. They don't need to be put in jail. They don't need to be left out and in the middle of a snowstorm. And most of us look at these people as if they're animals, but they're really not. I mean, and if you talk to them, some of these people are pretty freaking amazing, but they have some kind of mental illness. First thing I asked these guys, they ask for money. What's your name? Are you using drugs? No, I'm not using. Don't lie to me. And then they'll tell me. Two of them last week happened. They'll tell me what drugs they're using. They'll tell me I'm on this medication for schizophrenia. Most of these people need mental health, and not just check in. Oh yeah, how you doing? Here's some money, and get back out on the street. These people need to
They need to go somewhere.
right, and not to prison.
No, I agree with you.
And I bet you 25 to 50% of prisons are filled with mentally ill.
And when I worked in Newburgh here, we had a couple people charged with selling drugs or buying drugs or using drugs, and they were going to go to jail for 5 years. Young guys, young girls, never had a record in their life, and now they're going to have a felony. And this is before the check the box thing, and you're going to have a felony, that's with you for life.
Right.
We made some arrangements. Nick DeRosa was then became a county court judge, who was city court judge, where we would let people go to rehab or get the parents would vouch for them. And if they got arrested again, they're going to start their whole term.
And once you go to prison, once you go to jail, you don't come out better than you went in. You come out worse than you went in.
Well, I agree. The other thing I was going to say is, I just came back from Denver. Homeless people everywhere.
Yeah.
Met with a big business from Poughkeepsie that's now operating a big business in Orange County. He said he has 100 homeless people outside his place on a given day. He can't, and he's a business that needs customers. It's not just a manufacturer. He's actually in the entertainment business. So in Orange County, if we had a homeless person in most of the communities, we call our partner Honor, and they will come. They'll be like, Mister, why don't you hop up? We'll get you a warm shower, your own bed, fresh set of clothes. Tomorrow morning, we're going to talk to you about what's going on. You need help?
Right.
You need employment?
Right.
We had people that just had a bad couple, 3 months, who got divorced or, missed a couple payments, and all of a sudden got evicted, and they're homeless.
Yeah.
But we also have people that have severe mental illness.
I think
that
the majority
need to get help.
I think
or addiction issues.
Usually mentally ill people get addicted to drugs. Sane people don't do that.
But some people fall too. I've seen good people take bad roads too. But the bottom line is, what I say, no matter where you are, them camped out on somebody's property is not doing them good or society good.
Right.
So why not get them? They should not be able to sit there and suffer. And I know people it's their system, right, it's freedom, but you're hurting them by allowing 100%. Them to continue to. Eventually, they're going to be found frozen and dead. Because I get that. I get the 911 calls.
Yep.
And the police does a checkup. When we do have a thing called Code Blue, so when it's below freezing, where you have to take them off the streets. But I think that the society, especially government, is getting it wrong right now by allowing them to just do that.
It's the system in place. Well, I don't know. I don't think there is a system in place.
The solution is not there.
Correct. The solution needs, if you're somebody should go out, and if you're diagnosed as mentally ill, you should be taken against your own will, and be put in a facility to protect yourself, that person, and the people. I had a guy, mentally ill guy. The fire department was here a few months ago. Somebody set the door on fire at midnight, right? And so I look in the video and I see this guy, and he's talking to himself. It's at midnight. He walks by the doors, right? He lights the door on fire, and thank God for the city of Newburgh police department. Thank God for those guys, and thank God for the fire department.
Yeah.
And thank God for George Garrison and the DBW, because this place.
Yeah, George is a great guy too.
Wouldn't survive without any of those guys. They put the fire out. A few days later, I see somebody in the parking lot, and I said, "You're the guy that tried to burn a building down." He was schizophrenic, and he needed to be someplace.
He needs help.
And it was right, and he couldn't decide that for himself.
Yeah.
I had the same situation with a family member, and she's having problems, and you ask the doctor, and they won't tell you. What's wrong. There needs to be something in place to where these people can be.
Have you gone to? You don't go to New York City a lot, or you do?
I go to City. Yeah.
So it's gotten worse here too.
Yes, for
sure. I
sure.
still go. I still believe in New York. But it's definitely gotten worse.
Well, and that's because of bail reform. Now that we have bail reform, a lot of these guys that are doing, and a lot of the mentally ill doing little stuff, are roaming the streets and doing worse stuff and hurting themselves. But a lot of the bad guys that would do little stuff and get arrested for are in the streets, and now they're shooting at each other.
Yeah. Well, we have Orange County Jail. We have 1,000 beds, and we have now almost more corrections officers than inmates. I will tell you, the people that go in there, the services, there are good services
Yeah.
available. So sometimes it does work, and you do
Right.
need to remove people from the element. I also believe in accountability.
Yeah, for sure.
If you do harm to somebody,
100%.
I'm a Johnny Cash guy. I
Yeah.
believe in forgiveness, but there also needs to be consequences for
Right.
bad actions. So I do think the solution's out there. The solution's just not being executed by
100%.
government.
100%.
When you talk about Newburgh, the ups and downs, do you see more opportunity now? You have people like Ted Doring
Yep.
that's investing in the film industry, which is a very, I wouldn't say new. We've always filmed movies here or there, but it is a
He's
dynamite,
Ted's an
growing
amazing guy.
business.
You got it.
reinvesting like you,
Yep.
like guys like Benny Papaleo.
Ted's a Newburgh guy. Ted's
You have
a
Sim
good
Foster
friend.
we talked about.
Yep.
We have, when I became county executive, we had an empty part of the building the county owns, and we now have leased it out with BOCES, and we're doing English as a first language, but a job placement.
Right.
So all these men and women there are usually immigrants. They are getting trained to be like call takers for hospitals.
Right.
They speak different,
Right.
different languages,
Right.
which is also very helpful. So I do see a lot of hope. You see that too?
Yeah.
Right now, more than ever. Like 10 years ago was bad.
Yeah.
20 years
Yeah.
ago was worse.
Yes.
The hope is there.
Right. I think we're over that hump, and you brought something up that's really important to me. The Spanish-speaking people, right? Thank God for the Spanish-speaking people that came to Newburgh. Washington Street, 6, 7 years ago, you couldn't walk from this corner down to the river without probably having a problem. Because of the Honduran, Mexican, Peruvian, Venezuelan, on and on and on, Spanish-speaking people that moved in here, starting these little businesses. There's a bunch of them right on Washington Street.
Right.
They live in these houses that my Italian aunts and uncles used to live in,
Yeah.
in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and
Yeah.
80s, right? They're taking over. It's safe.
And reinvesting
And
into it.
right,
Cleaning
yeah.
the places
Thank God
up.
for those guys. Yeah, yeah. And that's one of the reasons why Newburgh is a better place. There's 5 or 10 reasons. That's one of the 5 or 10.
Do you see more activity and reinvestment in the city now than
Yeah.
you have in how
Ever.
many years? 20 years?
Ever.
30 years? Ever?
Yeah. So what's different about what's happening in this last 4 or 5 years here? It's the individual. It's the guy from Brooklyn who. There's this one kid who happens to be black. His parents had a brownstone in Brooklyn, and it became worth millions of dollars. So he sold that, and he came here and he bought a bunch of buildings here.
Yeah.
And he calls me, hey,
I
Rich,
hear
I
those
need some
stories a
advice.
lot, which is great.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's one of the things that are happening. That's been happening. The outside people coming in.
That's awesome. You see little shops like Black Vanilla. You
Yep.
have
Gerard Lang.
Yeah.
Gerard's a Newburgh guy. He's one of my close friends. He's an amazing, wonderful guy.
he's on the opposite side of Broadway
Yep,
from
he's
us.
on the
here.
opposite side. Good guy. He's one of 3 black-owned coffee roasting businesses in the country.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 or 4. But that's what we need here.
Yeah.
We need 100 Gerards here.
You're seeing people come in or coming back and reinvesting here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people.
You mentioned the police, the city Newburgh police and the fire department are key, awesome people. George Garrison, I've known him and I work together.
Really?
Still good friends. Wayne,
me too.
who runs
Wayne
the water
does the
department.
water department, great.
Yeah,
good-
so you got some good people here. And
Those guys would, everybody, the first thing they want to do is blame the police, these guys, one of the police officers is my cousin, who happens to be half black and half white. He's a great kid, and he's a brand new cop in the city of Newburgh, brand new, and doing a great job. These guys, a bunch of the good guys retired, but there's a bunch of good guys left. These guys are short-handed, underfunded, and I see what these guys do every day. I mean,
I think they get, look, if more people give them some appreciation to say thank you.
Imagine. Last night I went out and had a couple of drinks and I was tired, so I woke up and I really didn't feel that great. The next morning I was kind of tired. My head wasn't about me, or maybe I had a cold and I had a stuffy head and I was a little lightheaded. Imagine having to go to work that way with the possibility of getting shot at, right? people don't understand it. Imagine being a city of Newburgh fireman, and there's only 3 guys on duty, right? And a building's burning down, and there's a woman, which happened recently,
I remember
very
that.
terrible
Tragedy.
burning to death, and you by yourself have to take the hose into the building by yourself to put in a burning building. People don't understand that. When they complain about the wages and stuff like that, you know what? These guys deserve $1 million now.
These guys are probably one of the least paid.
For sure.
So the fact that they're doing it is for heart and to make a difference. When you decided to buy this building and invest in this, you and I talked about this a few weeks ago. You said every day somebody was breaking windows on a regular basis.
Yep.
You'd put in
Yep.
a window, be broken
Yep.
within a week or so.
Bullet holes all over the place.
You kept at it.
Right.
Your message early on when we
Right.
started this was not quitting.
Right.
And now you're in a better place here.
Yeah.
You have this thing thriving. When you walked into this burnt out or empty building, whatever it was when you got this, did you envision this?
Yeah, I mean, I used to drive by this building as a kid and wonder what's in that building. That's a cool building. A lot of the buildings that I own now are the buildings that I looked at as a teenager and thought they were amazing, beautiful buildings. Probably put more money into these things than they're worth, but it needs to be done.
Rich, one last thing. What gives you the most happiness in your life? What makes you, what is the thing that you look forward to the most?
The most amazing thing, what do we all do? What do we all want? We want people to like us.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
point.
what we want. We want people to like us. So to walk into here or to get to see you and shake your hand.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing that there is, to be on stage.
I see it giving you energy every time I see you.
That's right, brother.
You are, I don't want to say a schmoozer, but you are like the same thing people say, the same thing. Like I was at events the other day, like you're just going around talking to people.
You know why?
These guys.
You know why? Because you, like myself, I believe, love people.
I do, yeah.
And we love people, and we love people to like us, right?
Yeah.
When you're on stage playing, and you look out and you see all of these people smiling, what better
Feeling.
It's
making
better
a
than
difference,
$1 million,
yeah.
right?
Awesome. Rich, thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Dude, you were the coolest. And check this place out, the Silk Factory in Newburgh. Real words with real people. And that's really what we got here with you. And I appreciate everything you're doing for the community. And you're definitely turning the tide on it. So thank you so
brother.
much. And thanks
Appreciate
for being
it.
with us. We'll be back next month for our next podcast.